Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the meeting of the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee. With that, I'd like to declare the meeting open at 6:01 p.m. And ask the CEO to take the record of attendance. Apologies.
Thank you, Independent Member. For the purpose of reporting, I'd like to note and welcome our Independent Chair, Ms. Kathy Pater, and thank Casper Breen to become the Independent Chair of this Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee. And note that we have Councillor Jeff West has a leave of absence and Councillor Jason Reid is an apology for this meeting.
Fantastic, thank you. Moving on to item 3. Prior to item 3, I would just like to provide a notice to the meeting attendees that this meeting is being audio recorded in accordance with council policy. If you are asking a public question or making a statement or deputation to the meeting, this will be audio recorded. Members of the public are reminded that no other visual or audio recording of this meeting by any other means is allowed. Moving on to item 3, any disclosure of financial and other interests.
I've received none before the meeting.
Thank you, CEO. Moving on to confirmation of the previous meeting minutes, and these are the minutes held for the Audit Committee meeting on the 18th of March 2025. We have a recommendation. Can I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Kilpatrick, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Chilcott. Are there any issues or questions in relation to the minutes? No. Can I have a vote that we move the minutes from the previous meeting? Yep, all in favour? Sorry, yep. Carried by an absolute majority. Moving on to the reports of the committee. 5.1, the compliance audit return for 2025. Prior to dealing with the recommendations, I'd like to provide an opportunity for the officer to add any additional commentary or information they would like at this time.
Thank you, Chair. The Council would be, and the Committee would be aware that traditionally the compliance audit return, which is a self-completed exercise by the local government to determine whether it is complied with the various statutes under the Local Government Act, normally gets done in March. The compliance audit return process this year was conducted later across the state because of the introduction of the Inspector for Local Government. So the Inspector for Local Government delayed the compliance audit return process. Is now required that local governments complete it by the end of August. We have obviously completed the compliance audit return, and I am pleased to report that the compliance audit return from an officer's perspective has not identified any breaches of the Local Government Act for the calendar year. The officer's recommendation asks that the committee recommend the council approve it and authorise the Deputy Shire President and Chief Executive Officer to certify it. It will then be uploaded to the department's new local government portal, which is not the same as last year's new portal or the previous new portal that the department has created.
Thank you to the CEO. Members, do you have any questions for the officer in relation to this recommendation and reports? No. Now, looking at the recommendations, can I please have a mover that we accept the recommendations? Thank you, Mrs. Chilcott. And a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Longmuir. Is anyone opposed to the recommendations? Is there any dissent amongst the councillors? No. Can I call for a vote, please? Yep. Carried by an absolute majority. Sorry.
From 25.
Yeah, got it. Moving to item 5.2, the Strategic Risk Register. Again, I would like to provide the opportunity to the officer to provide more information on this recommendation and item.
Thank you. So the Shire has always had a strategic risk register, but not one that Council may be familiar with. It was developed some time ago using a Welga template and was quite a complicated and complex document. I think the officer's report talks about the number of risks. Yes, it identified 34 risks. So while we certainly have some challenges in the Shire and our community and in local government generally, a risk register with 34 risks was a little bit unwieldy and unworkable, and probably didn't actually provide any assistance to officers in conducting its business. So while we identify that risk management is an important part of our method of dealing with challenges, and we have a adopted risk policy. Officers wanted to refresh and update the risk register and make it far more simpler. So next financial year we'll be having the review into Shire governance that we're required to have every 4 years, and it would very likely be that those auditors would identify that the risk register was out of date and cumbersome and all the things we've identified as well. So given the establishment of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee, we felt it was a timely thing to update the risk register in a really simplified format which reflects the size of the organisation, if not the complexity of the issues that we deal with on a daily basis.
Thank you to the CEO. Councillors, do you have any questions in relation to what the CEO has discussed? So moving on to the recommendation as written, can I have a mover for that recommendation, please? Thank you, Councillor O'Brien, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Kilpatrick. Any dissent in relation to the recommendation? No? I will put that to a vote. Carried absolutely. Thank you. All right, moving on to our final item, which is 5.3, confidential interim audit result.
We've now asked that you move behind closed doors.
Fantastic. Can I just have a motion that we move this item behind closed doors, please? Thank you, Councillor Longyear.
Seconder.
Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Kilpatrick. Seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor O'Brien.
Unopposed.
Is it unopposed? No oppositions? Thank you. Yep.
So it's carried.
Yep, carried.
I'm not getting out my chair.
I would have rushed there anyway.
I was such a ruckus.
All right, confirmation that the meeting is now opened. I think that concludes all business.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. For all items before the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee, I'd like to thank the members and the officers for the contributions tonight. Being that there's no further business, yep, I declare the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee meeting closed at
6:18 p.m.
6:18 p.m.
Lovely. Well done.